Hi everybody, so this is the weekend edit of All About Food, and I thought I'd whip something up that's really easy, perfect for a big family, sort of a brunch. Everyone gets up a little bit later on the weekend, so it's that nice kind of in-between time. So we are going to make sweetcorn fritters. I'm going to serve it with a tomato salsa. You can have it with guacamole if you prefer, or you can have it without, or fried eggs and crispy bacon is also another win. So we'll work through the fritters and then the salsa, and then we can do a bit of plating up together, and then we can talk through what you might add, what you might substitute out. So the fritter mix is really easy. In here I've got some plain flour. I'll share this recipe with you. So it's 100 grams of plain flour. I like to give my fritter mix a bit of a zing. So into it I'm going to add a little shake of sweet smoked paprika because I just love that flavour. Fab. Going to have a little pinch of salt into here. And now, as you might know, I'm a little bit of a fan of chili. So this isn't crazy. If you're cooking for the kids, you can take this out. It's not a problem. And then adults, you can add, a bit of fresh chili to your salsa if you would prefer, or your guac, or have the hot sauce on standby. A little bit of a mill of pepper into here. And then we are going to add a little touch of baking powder. So it's just a teaspoon of that to our plain flour. That was just a bit shy of a teaspoon. So we can give that a little mix around. So if you don't have the smoked paprika and you like something else, great. Cajun spice again works really nicely. You can add a touch of any powdered spice that you feel that you really love. Into here we have 2 eggs. So off they go into the flour. Okay, a little bowl here for my trims. And then we're going to give this a little mix up. So you just want to try and create a nice, smooth, preferably if you don't throw it all over the shop, that makes for less tidying up at the end. But give this a mix. It will start to build quite a thick batter, which is what you want, because this is a little bit more about the sweet corn than the batter mix here. But if you prefer it to have a bit more of the pancake action, you can do that too. Right, okay, so we've got a nice little mix going on here. And we're going to add the sweet corn to the party too. So you just need a little tiny drain of this just to take the extra moisture out. And then in this can go to your mix. Now, don't worry too much if there's a touch of liquid left in the tin. That will help let your sweetcorn fritters down, just so that you get the right pancakey kind of a consistency. Now our sweet corn is in. You want to just give it a good old mix up. And then this is the sort of consistency that you want. So you can see that the batter is just coating the outside of our sweet corn. You don't want them too doughy, but when you give this a good stir, it'll come together. And that's all you want. So it should just hold them together. And when you fry them, all the little sweet corn kernels will caramelize, get nice and crispy, and have a touch of color. So what might we want to add into this? I'm going to pop in a touch of spring onion, the rest of which I will add to my salsa. You can add to your guacamole if you prefer. So let's just have a little touch of chopped spring onion. You can chop it how you like. So spring onion can go into our bowl, and a touch of coriander for sure. So If there is something, you don't have coriander, you've got parsley, you've got chives, again, completely fine. If there's a herb that you prefer, then you are welcome to use it. Again, I would say this calls for a soft herb rather than a anything hard like rosemary or thyme, which can be a little bit too woody. So, I've got some nice sweet corn batter ready to rock. Because they don't take very long to cook, I am going to do the salsa now with you. We'll set this to one side and then we can cook everything together and assemble everything. And then it won't take very long at all. So, salsa wise, I had a little bit of a pepper left because we're on a zero waste nothing approach. And another one over here. Half a red chili because I like the fire. My spring onion. And then a couple of ripe tomatoes. So, what you can't see, or you might be able to see in here, is that I had zested some lemons and then I was rationing them on my veg shelf. So in here is just a tablespoon of citrus just to help with the salsa. So to this, I'm going to keep all the seeds in because I'm making this for me. And I do love a bit of the fire. So please don't feel like it's entirely necessary. You can absolutely leave that out. And if you don't have fresh chili, you can use a little touch of pickled jalapeno or a little bit of hot sauce if you prefer. So into this, I'm going to just do a nice dice on my red peppers. It's lovely because they're very sweet, so you don't have to cook them out. And they make a beautiful, speedy salsa. So chopping as small, as chunky as you would prefer, really not a problem. Let's do these little pieces, they're a little bit tricky. One more. So, you can make this recipe with gluten-free flour, works extremely well. So that's also fine. Instead of the egg, you can use a non-dairy milk if you prefer to. The only thing I would say is just to keep the batter quite firm. Don't make it too slack because the pancakes will lose their shape when you come to cooking them. Okay, so I think that's enough pepper, actually. So let's do my tomatoes now too and see what else this might need. So let's mix it up on our spring onion front. So again, if you don't have spring onion, you can use red onion, also completely fine. If you don't like onion, don't use it, that's fine too. Okay, lovely. Bit of this going into here. And then it's all about our toms. So lots of people get precious about this. I really don't mind where the stalk is, so I just tend to leave it in. And we're cooking at home, so we can be a bit more relaxed about things. So salsa as you wish. Chunky, not so chunky. Again, you could do what we discussed when I cooked Mexican with you guys, was blend it a little bit, but I especially love the texture of the little dice of tomatoes. And again, it will keep in the fridge. So if you have some tortilla chips left and it's snack time, then it's always good to have on hand. So, little dice of this, one more tomato to go. So we've got the citrus already in there. Now, I don't normally add olive oil to my salsas, but I will in this instance because I think it's really delicious. And I've got some really great peppery olive oil that I would like to use. So, dicing again. This salsa will be finished with a touch of soft herb. Again, what have you got? What do you like? If you don't like any of it, you don't have to use it. And if you opt out of the herbage, then just make some considerations for your salt, olive oil and your citrus, just so you bring out the best in the tomatoes. Okay, so those done, we're going straight into the bowl for some mixing. That should be quite easy. There's any of that juice left, and you can get that on the knife on the way up too. Also great. So salsa will keep for 2 days, fine. I'd be surprised if it lasted in your fridge longer than that, just because you'll want to eat it. And your fritter mix will absolutely last for 2 to 3 days. So if you want to make this on Friday night, ready for Saturday brunch time, that's fine. Or, you know, a couple of days ahead, that's really not a problem. So in here, we've got all of our chopped peppers, tomatoes, little bit of spring onion, touch of chili. So it's all about the season now. So let's have a pinch of Maldon salt, a cracked pepper, and then I've got some really nice peppery olive oil that I'm going to add to this. Right, perfect. Hand wipe over here. Okay, so now it's all about pancakes. So you can have a touch of heat, non-stick pan, best friend. See, I knew I'd forgotten something. It's got to be the herb in the salsa. So, bit of coriander, and for me today it's a touch of tarragon, because I love tarragon with tomatoes and I love that really delicate anise flavour that you get. So chopping, and a bit more chopping. Okay, there we go. Days, they can hand wash. Dry. Okay, perfect. So salsa is now officially ready to rock, and it's all about our pancakes. So non-stick pan, little touch of vegetable oil. So you're not deep frying here, and because you've got your non-stick pan, which is your best friend, you don't need to go crazy on the oil front. So we need some heat in the pan, because otherwise your pancakes will start to sort of spread out, but without beginning to cook. So we want them to keep their shape and then get all those corn kernels starting to caramelize a lot quicker. So mix is ready. And take a tablespoon. And then just pop in. So you can make them as big as you'd like them to be. You can make them as small as you'd like them to be. I'm going to try and aim for about 3 into this pan, so I can make a nice little stack to show you. And we're on a medium heat here. Okay, so you can see them happening in the pan happily. And one more, just a last pancake. Okay, perfect. So mix is there. So out of this, I've gotten about 6 to 8 pancakes, really, depending on what size you've got. So you can scale up and scale down. If you want to make the sweet corn go a little bit further, then feel free to add more flour and more egg. You can up the base ratio and then just leave the sweet corn volume the same. So all that crackling that we can hear is the corn charring and caramelizing, which is all amazing flavour. Okay, so what we can have in here is a little look. So non-stick friends are working very nicely. Lots of popcorn going on down here. Medium heat still working. All you want to see, which I can't show you, but is just around the outside of the pancakes. You can see the oil bubbling, which is perfect, because then you know the magic is happening. And you should be able to move them in one piece. When you can do that, then you know they're consistently even. So don't be shy about this. Don't turn them too soon. You can lift them up, have a little glance underneath. If they're not as caramelized as you'd like them to be, leave them a little longer. You can turn the heat down, and then we can have another peek. But they should definitely be nice and brown, otherwise you won't get the flavour, and we certainly don't want any of that raw undercooked batter. So we might almost be ready to turn our first pancake, and I can show you what it's looking like. Oh yeah, fab, fab, fab. Okay, perfect. So these look amazing. So then we were talking about what you can serve them with, and it's really your choice. So if you want to swap out the egg for a plant-based and or nut milk, you can, and for a gluten-free flour, also completely fine. Or you could serve them with the guac, the salsa, crispy bacon. I have some prosciutto in the fridge, which is also really nice. Or even a touch of smoked salmon if you manage to get hold of any. You can make these ahead of time too. So all I would say is cook them out and then pop them on a plate, let them cool, and then you can just wrap them in foil or put them in a container. So I can take this one out and bring it for you to see. So we've got crisp caramelization, which we want. Nice bit of colour, don't be scared, that's the colour that we're going for. And then we've got corn kernels a-go-go in here at the moment. So almost there. A bit more coloration in the pan. I think we'll turn the last one now. Oh, yum. Okay, perfect. So medium heat, let it go. The bigger your pan, obviously, you can do little drop scones in there. If you, in fact, let the recipe down a touch and put the corn in, you can use it in a waffle iron too. Just be careful about the corn sticking. But it works perfectly for both. So I think we're pretty much there. I'll come back to cooking the rest when I have to share them. But let's plate up, and then you can see how easy that was. So again, you're welcome to plate up if it's just the two of you, if it's one of you, even if it's 7 of you. But I think the best way to do this is just to make a stack, pile them up, place of crispy bacon, a few bowls of salsa guac, and maybe sour cream if you've got it, or a little touch of creme fraiche, which I didn't have. And then just pop everything on the table, and everyone can play and eat them however they wish, which I think is the best way. So, thrilled with how these bad boys are looking. So, crisp coloured on the bottom. Okay, now we're going to go into a little stack like this. And then to plate, we're going to have a little spoonful of our salsa on top, because that is the way I like mine. And just a little spoon of the dressing. And then this right here is Easy Life Weekend Brunch. So that is sweetcorn fritters with tomato salsa to be served with bacon, salmon, avo, however you please. Share them, don't share them. I'm not going to share this, but I hope you'll see how easy that was and that you'll give it a go at home.